Let the record show that the regular meeting of the Board of Education is resuming at 7 o'clock, July 17th, 2013. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we have to start us off with the Pledge of Allegiance, Genesis Balogun from Morris Elementary, and she's 9 years old.
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done. Thank you. Next, we have report out of closed session.
Board of Education accepted the resignation of Ramona Yee as Program Specialist, Casera Middle School, effective July 12, 2013, and the vote was unanimous. And she received a promotional job in another district, and we wish her well. The Board of Education accepted the resignation of Shannon Miller as Assistant Principal, Frisbee Middle School, effective July 19th, 2013, and the vote was unanimous, and she too became a principal in another district, and we're very happy for her. The Board of Education accepted the following appointments effective July 17th, 2013. Ayana Balagan as Assistant Principal, Frisbee Middle School. Jeremiah Dela Cruz as Program Specialist, Casera Middle School. Monica Garcia as Program Specialist, Jehu Middle School. And this was a unanimous vote. They also accepted the reassignment of Alberto Gutierrez from Program Specialist at Curtis Elementary School to Assistant Principal at Curtis Elementary School. Congratulations to all of you, and we'd like for you to get a chance to acknowledge yourselves by shaking hands with our board.
Congratulations. And congratulations on school board.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're ready to do some real work.
I'm ready.
Is that all? Next, we have an additional report out of closed session. We had a roll call vote on, and the resolution was the Board of Education approved the annual doctoral stipend to be paid to the superintendent as part of the superintendent's annual salary. Now, I'd like to say this was a correction. This is not like a pay raise. It was an error. We had a roll call vote, and we had board member Nancy O'Kelly with a no. We had Vice President Edgar Montes with a no. We had Clerk Joe Martinez with an aye. Board member Joanne Gilbert with an aye. Myself, President of the Board, Joe Ayala, with an aye. So the resolution carries. Next, we have the adoption of the agenda. Can we get a motion to accept the agenda?
Mr. President, I move to accept the agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, so we have a first from Board Member Joanne Gilbert and a second from Board Member O'Kelly. Is there any discussion? No discussion. We'll move on to a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The agenda Moves forward, and it's a 5-0. Next, we have presentations and the superintendent's report.
I'd like to provide information from Educational Services and Business Services at this time.
Good evening, Board. It is with great pleasure that I announce to you that Zupanik High School received the results of their WASC visit from the spring, and they have a 6-year accreditation with a 1-day revisit in the middle. So that's very exciting. Congratulations.
Principal, stand up, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Also, tomorrow is the last day of summer school, and it's gone very well. We had originally said we would try to serve up to 1,000 students. We're serving 935 using a total of 629 online licenses, because each license can be used for 3 student classes. And as soon as the grades are due tomorrow, and tomorrow's the last day for students to finish working, and then we'll get the board some data as to how many students actually finished classes, how many they took, and credits earned. But I met a young man yesterday who completed 5 classes, 1 per week, and made them up over the summer. So that was, I think there were 2 students like that. That was very exciting. And then graduation, and the board is receiving invitations, is the 31st at 6 p.m. And then finally, board, you received a little gift from the Parent Center. It's their current activities. It's a green folder and a really neat calendar in there with events for the district. So, thank you.
I have 2 announcements. First announcement, we just received confirmations from Southern California Air Quality Management. The grant, board, I reported to you, $2.8 million grant. The bus will be, 16 new buses will be here before school starts. So Dr. Seaborn, I appreciate he signed the grant because it's very time sensitive. So I will present the grant for board, your acceptance at the next board meeting. So the confirmation received today, the bus will be here. They're waiting for other due process. So that's the good news. You'll see 16 buses. Once bus arrived, I will invite the board and committee as an open house, so you can see to all those buses, the safety, all the safety devices will be there. They'll be operating on the CNG. And we'll go our second round again, get under 16. These are all pre-1994 buses. Once those buses arrive, our 16 buses that need to be crashed, mean they cannot be on the road. The safety issue, that's one of the conditions of the grant. So I want to let you know. The second announcement, we just received highest satisfaction rating for Southern California Highway Patrol, our terminal inspections. Although our fleet, they're pretty old, we get the highest rating satisfaction. This is a really great announcement for districts, and that this is the highest award we received as the highest satisfaction of our transportation terminal, how we operating, although our fleets are pretty old. That's the announcement I have. Thank you.
Next, we have public hearing. Comments from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak to any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes to make a presentation.
We do not have it.
We do not have anybody at this time, okay? Next, we have comments on agenda items. Any person wishing to speak to any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes to make a presentation.
We do not have it.
And we don't have anybody speaking on the agenda. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a vote on public hearing. Do we have a motion to accept?
To end the public hearing?
Yes.
To open it.
Oh, to open it?
Yes.
Okay. I move that we open the public hearing.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, and Mr. Martinez, a second. And is there a discussion?
No, except if nobody wants to talk, do we still have to open it?
Well, I just would like to ask President Ayala, perhaps if Dr. Seaborn can maybe ask one of our staff members, explain it in a nutshell for the public and for the community, just real in simple terms, what exactly this is, as far as the developer fees, you know, the,
This public hearing?
yeah.
Okay.
We have someone going to explain to the board why it's required and why this item board need to take action. Would you please? Yes.
Thank you so much.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I recognize three of you from, I've been doing these developer fee studies for the district for, I don't want to say how many years, but a really, really long time. And the point of doing this is when Prop 13, many years ago, went into effect, we lost our ability to fund schools. And so one of the ways that was given to us was if we could prove that there was a need for schools based on certain statutory standards, then we could charge a certain amount, again, based on statutory standards, to anyone who was going to build a house or a number of houses within the community. And so we have, and we're really, according to the state program, obligated to charge the maximum allowable. Now, the maximum allowable is determined by a formula, and so we don't have a lot of leeway, but we do have a formula that we follow. And so we have been doing that successfully since probably 1995. And so basically, if we show, for example, the last 2 years, we only have a need really to elementary level. And so that's all we charge for. Prior to that time, before all the new schools were built, we had a greater need. We had a need for middle school and high school, if we go back far enough. And so we charged a lot more back then because we were charging for 3 levels of schools. And so now we're down to elementary, and the number that we just came up with is based strictly on the elementary numbers. And I've been doing them forever, so if you have questions, I mean, I love to talk about this, but I'm sure you have other things that you would rather discuss, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I think from the report we received, you anticipate us receiving about something like 300 new students over the next 5 years, because we're going to get 297 houses or something like that?
Well, that's how we have to do the study. It's not a planning document.
Okay.
So, and in fact, I've been discussing with your staff how to incorporate a little bit of that into planning, but we're given a certain way that we have to do that. And so I try to make as reasonable an estimate as possible based on data from SCAG and data from the Department of Finance and so forth. But I certainly wouldn't stand here and tell you that that's the number. And one of the reasons we do it every year is these numbers do change. Our student generation factor, for example, this year declined compared to last year, but the grants went up. The square footage has declined, which was it gives us more money. I mean, it kind of works backwards. And so we do it every year, and we have a formula that we follow. Okay. But, as I say, it's not a planning document.
Okay.
Just to piggyback board, it's required by law. We have to do this annually, every year. Adjusted so because we're a state school building program, we get funded by the state. It's required by law, so we have to do this every year. So this is not something we can just, because
It's okay. I just was getting hopeful that we're going to get new development here in Rialto.
Well, there is new development. There has been potential new development for a number of years. And of course, the market is turning a little bit. And so we expect some of that. And we took a very conservative viewpoint, but it's not the way that that I would do it for a planning document. And Mr. Islam's comment is relevant because the study, these particular fees go away a year from today. And so you have to have another study to be sure that you're still in compliance and that you're still, that we can justify it, justify the data.
Thank you.
We thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Do we have any other questions before we
That's all I had.
adjourn from
Thank you.
public hearing?
Thank you so much, but I just want to make sure, do we open it up for the public in case there's anybody here, since it's a public
Yes.
hearing,
Yes.
for comment?
If anybody wants to speak regarding this, they're welcome to.
Is there anybody in the audience who would like to comment on what was just said? Okay,
Thank you for your time.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next, can we have a motion to close, to adjourn from
move that we-
public hearing?
I move that we close the public hearing now.
Okay.
Second.
And O'Kelly. Okay, and we'll take a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have 5-0, and it's 7:16. Okay. Next, we have public information and correspondence. Williams Settlement Legislation, Quarterly Uniform Complaint Report, summary for submission to the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools for the period covering April 2013 through June 2013, reference D 1.1. Item 2, Special Board of Education Budget Study Session is scheduled for Wednesday, July 31st, 2013 at 4:00 p.m. here at the Dr. John R. Casalunas Educational Center, 182 East Walnut Avenue, Rialto, California. Item 3, Monday, August 5th, 2013 is the first day of school for the 2013-2014 school year. I will repeat that one more time. Monday, August 5th is the first day of school. So get plenty of rest out there and be ready. And item 4, we have a reminder, the next regular meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for Wednesday, August 14th, 2013 at 7:00 p.m. at Preston Elementary School, 1750 North Willow Avenue, Rialto, California. Next, we have the consent calendar action section. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered by the Board of Education to be routine and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to the time the board considers the motion unless members of the board, the administrative staff, or the public request specific items to be discussed and/or removed from the consent calendar. Can I get a motion to accept E through I on the consent calendar?
I motion that we approve the consent calendar items reference E through I.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Okay.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay. We have a motion by Clerk Martinez and a second by Joanne Gilbert. And we have a question by Board Member Nancy O'Kelly. Please.
First one is on Section F, these revised board policies. Who does the revising of the board policies?
Dr. Seaman?
We get the information current from CSBA on any revisions that they may, that school districts should have. And it has been Muhammad's office, Lisa, so they go through and they either red line or add something for the board to consider in first reading. For a couple of years, we didn't keep those up to date very much, but the information for change, unless one of you would make a change in a policy, most of these will come from CSBA.
Okay.
And they usually send them monthly or twice every 6 months, just depends.
And
Okay.
Gamut Online will
Right.
provide you the information if you want to review them.
Okay. And my second question is on H3. And I just didn't know from the description on the contracts, I was wondering why we are paying San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools $15,460 for courier services. What are we currying?
They bring the mails to the districts. Is the contract we have every year. We pay them the checks and all the mails come from the county school to the districts.
Okay, all right. I
County
just
superintendent
wanted
school.
clarification.
Yes.
Okay.
It's paid every year. We have the same contract, so we have to bring back to the board for approval.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we have no pulls, so we have a motion by Clerk Martinez and a second by Board Member Joanne Gilbert. And we'll take a voice vote on this. All in favor, say aye.
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 I also say aye, so we have a 5-0. The consent calendar is successful, it passes, so we'll move on to
Jay.
discussion action items. Before we go into the action items, do we have any pulls?
I'd like to pull number 6.
Okay, pull number 6. We'll read that separately. Anybody else? Okay, with
Except for number 1, I won't be voting on number 1.
okay, abstention?
Yes.
Okay, with exception of pulling item 6, we'll vote on separately, and the abstention on number 1, Joanne Gilbert. Can we get a motion to accept the discussion action items?
I motion that we accept the discussion action items.
Can we get a second to accept the discussion action items?
Second.
Okay,
I too will be abstaining from item 2 and item 4.
okay, 2 and 4. And that is Vice President Montes. So let me re-clarify. Before we call for a voice vote, we do have a motion to accept by Clerk Martinez and a second by Board Member Joanne Gilbert. We're pulling number 6. We're Joanne Gilbert, Board Member Gilbert is abstaining from item 1. Vice President Montes is abstaining from number 2. He's also abstaining from item 4. Can we get a voice vote with those corrections?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we have a 5-0. And let's move on to number 6.
Okay. I have a bit of a concern with the high cost of providing the elementary and middle school sports program. I understand $40,000 of the $73,000 is a grant, but that still leaves us paying $33,000. And it's only 31 Saturdays. That's like, you know, a month of work, and a company is being paid $73,000, which is, you know, kind of ridiculous. We also paid 2 administrators to oversee the elementary and middle school sports program, which is part of their salary. And I don't know if the money is used for referees, but I used to sign the checks for the referees when I was at the high school, and they never could have added up to $73,000. So I'm a little confused about why we're spending so much on this program and why we can't cover it with the cost of the grant by itself.
We expected to get a much larger grant, and we hope to even get any more, but they don't usually give grants outside of LA County. And because of the push that Greg Bell, Dan Sosa, and Andy Luna made with them, they were able to give us a grant. If you look at, we probably can give you an itemized cost. The $33,000 that we have officials at all levels of every game, and we have 4, 5, 6 games going on per Saturday. with 2 and 3 officials. This is in elementary and middle school. So most of the other money is covering a lot of staffing issues with the grant, some equipment. We had planned to add wrestling. They had proposed that. So there are mats and everything. So that 40,000 pretty much will cover a lot of that. The 33 will cover most of the officiating costs that we have. And if we're always prepared for Plan B, and we are, but this is Plan A right now, and we think that we'll cover most of everything. This is the smallest amount that we've ever used for both programs, and that's because of the extra money that we're getting from the grant. We're asking to get. We thought we should have gotten close to 100,000 because our program is much larger than some of the school districts in LA, but we're not in LA County, so they went out of their comfort zone to come out and visit us, and they gave us 40 this time.
Isn't it possible to do with fewer referees and officials? I mean,
Well,
even at that, I mean, they
the-
make like $50 a game or something.
if this cost is reduced, we'll probably go another route, and that is to get donations to pay for the extra cost. Sometimes the extra official provides us more safety than anything, because when we first started, it was just having fun. It's serious business now with these parents when they come out there and they're looking at every call and how it's made. So we've tried to. The other thing that we did that was a little bit different from what we've done in the past, we hired people from our own community. These officials, a lot of graduates from our high schools. One of our former student board members is a timekeeper. So we tried to. Last year was the first year we used many of our own kids to do the work, and we stayed away from the high-priced CIF officials that we had used previously. So
How do the kids pay for their shirts, their uniforms, and all that?
initially when we started, we bought equipment for everyone, but they're so competitive now. They've junked our stuff. Excuse that expression. They've gone out and they've gone GQ on us, and they've ordered their own. Curtis Elementary School probably was the leader. They went out, and the parents, they raised their own money, and if you see the outfits that our cheerleaders wear, it's off the chart. And they do their own fundraising. Every now and then, they'll hit us up for a donation, but most of it is for them. We've only, if there was a school, Preston didn't have any uniforms, and that was a school last year we purchased them for. So right now, everybody has the uniforms, either the ones that we bought them initially or the ones that they bought on their own.
So if this is approved, this $33,000 that the district has to pay will be it for the
That
year?
you
We
will not
we
need
will
it.
not have to pay
No.
any more money for the athletic
No.
program? Okay.
I have a comment. You know, I know staff has entertained the idea previously of eventually trying to do in-house the elementary program and just have these professionals help us with the middle school program, which obviously is a lot more competitive and, you know, a little more chaotic. But we have two parents over at Morgan Elementary,
Both of them will be working.
and those women are awesome. They single-handedly ran and organized and planned and were officials and referee and coach and judge and jury all together for those kids at that school with an awesome basketball program. And I don't see why we can't bring more people like that to help us. We can start with the elementary program, and eventually, you know, as time goes on, we can set up a solid program where we can phase out any consultants or organizations and try to get funding ourselves, like you mentioned, Doc, through donations, and maybe we can apply for some grants on our own behalf. And credit is deserved to this organization, Athletes for Life, because they did garnish this $40,000 grant on their own behalf. And you know, with the help of Andy and Dan, like you mentioned, that's awesome. I think they deserve a round of applause for that. you know, I see the Saturdays. You know, I can't go to all the games, but I drive by. It looks like, you know, we've got live NFL sports going on out there, and a lot of the parents are really happy. I just would like to see us eventually phase out of you know, of using some of our general fund monies for things that we can really, you know.
We want to do that too. I want to say this though. When we were at one of the schools and those ladies were there and you brought it up, we have taken your suggestion. The staff that will be working in the elementary program will not be the same as we've had in the past. We had 2 people doing everything. We will have several people, 8 to 10 people doing this, and they'll be paid from this grant. And those 2 ladies that you mentioned, one was the first person that I called. And when we went into this mode of operation, and her answer was, let me know, I'm ready to answer the bell. And we will do more. We haven't assigned staff yet, but we'll recruit from those who want to give us that kind of time. And both of them, we've had, no disrespect, but we have not utilized females in our elementary program until recently. But it'll be balanced completely for this coming school year.
And we really should do something special for those women. I'm not going to mention their names now, but at the appropriate time, you know, we can maybe do some little, you know, recognition for them. They deserve it. Yeah.
Well, points and questions well said. Do we have any other questions, discussions? Then, if we don't, can I get a motion to accept item 6, J6?
I move that we accept item J6.
Okay. Board Member Gilbert moves to accept. And do we have a second to accept?
Second.
Okay. Clerk Martinez has a second. We'll use a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have employees. There's a report here I'll read out. Just approved personnel report number 1094 for classified and certificated employees, reference K1.1-3.4. Can we have a motion to accept the resolution?
I make a motion that we accept the personnel report.
Okay, Board Member O'Kelly makes that motion, and do we have a second?
I'll second that.
And Clerk Martinez seconds, has a second to accept. We'll take a voice, do we have any comments before we take a voice vote, discussion? Okay, no comments, no questions, and then we'll take a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, pupil personnel. We're approving the recommendations by the Administrative Hearing Panel, AHP. And we need a motion to accept.
I move we accept the pupil personnel report.
Okay, Kelly. Board Member O'Kelly makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second by Board Member Gilbert. Okay, are there any questions, comments? No questions or comments. We'll take a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Ayala, I know you have the comments by the board. If I could ask your indulgence to make a presentation, I'm sorry we didn't make it earlier. I appreciate all of you for being at our leadership charge. I think you started something when you got on stage at the Ritz, and our staff got involved with it, and they got carried away a little bit, as you could see. But there were some people that were not there, and at the next board meeting, Cheryl and Lisa Lindbergh, we plan to present your awards to you. But Mr. Montez, we present awards to all the governing board, and I'd like to present you with yours. And thank you.
Hey, look at that. Look at that.
Thanks, Jim. I gotta say some words now, because you know, this is awesome. It looks like a Grammy, an Oscar, all rolled into one, and
It's a Harold.
it's a Hal's Award. You're right. It's a Hal's Award, but it looks and it feels like a Grammy to me, like an Oscar. I just want to say thank you, Dr. Seabrum. I do want to apologize to all, not just to you, but to all the people that were in attendance that day, since it was on a weekday during work hours, and I do work full-time, sometimes more than full-time. I could not make it, and I apologize to all of you. But thank you very much. It means a lot to me. And it's awkward because really, this should, the top should say the Rialto Unified School District Awards, and we should be presenting you with one of these, Doc. So thank you very much. And again, I want to thank everybody that was able to make it. I think this is really nice of Dr. Seabrum and a lot of our staff members to be able to put this together to recognize a lot of the good leadership in our district. So thank you again. Thank you.
He did get one. It was bigger than ours.
Oh, he did? Wow. Oh, okay, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Now I understand why he drove up in his truck.
Right.
Next, we have comments from members of the Board of Education, and Board Member Nancy O'Kelly, would you do us the honor?
Well, somebody asked me the other day, and I could not answer this, so I'm probably asking for somebody to give me a list or something. We collect that MA money. And I know in the past, because I was on the committee, we had a district MA committee that decided how that money that we received back would be spent. I know part of it, or a good portion of it, maintained the Donna Leffler Health Clinic. So, and there've been a lot of concern because a lot of people feel we're not providing the health services that a lot of our students need. And so I'd like to know what is the money being used for now, and is there still a committee that prioritizes our health needs, because it's supposed to be spent on health education and I believe special education.
Mohammed?
I'd like to bring the report back to board in writing so you can see through how money being spent.
Okay.
Last year, even go back from the time we're getting the money. So I'd like to give you the detailed report to the board if it's okay.
Okay, that'd
Okay.
be great.
Yeah, thank you.
And the only other thing I had was I celebrated my 35th wedding anniversary with my wonderful husband, Jim. And, realize that, we have been together definitely more than half our lives. So, it was very
Congratulations.
special. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Board Member Nancy O'Kelly. Next, we have Board Member Joanne Gilbert.
Thank you, President Ayala. I, too, went to the leadership charge last week, and it's a wonderful celebration for teachers because it marks the beginning of a new school year, and everyone is there ready and eager to begin a new school year with bright, smiling faces. So I just want that to continue because we have good staff here in Rialto. So I know you will fill the charge and continue to do the best for our children here in Rialto. I would like to congratulate our new appointees to administrative positions. And along with that, I would also like to congratulate Dr. Bolagan, who's the newest one of the newest members of the Fontana Unified School District Board of Ed. She won the election last night, so I know she will do a good job. She does a wonderful, fantastic job here in Rialto, so I know we have seasoned her to take that leadership role and do her best for the Fontana School District. But don't give it all to them. Continue doing what you do for us here at Frisbee and the district. And I see Lynn Bruner in the audience, a retiree who's come back to help out our child development program. So welcome back, Lynn, and I lend you my hand to help you with whatever is needed, because that's my heart. That was my profession, child development. And next 2 weeks, we'll be back in school. So we look forward to a new beginning, and that's my report. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you so much. Next, we have clerk of our board, Joe Martinez.
Thank you, President Ayala. I just wanted to thank everyone as usual for all their hard work, but specifically, we heard that the CHP gave our buses the highest rating, and I wanted to give a special thank you to our transportation department, specifically the mechanics. And I can't forget the little lady who answers the phones and all the questions out there. She's become dear to us. And just thank you all for attending. And I'm going to have to learn how to fly the bird, as some of our people were doing at the leadership retreat. And others really have other hidden talents as well. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Next, we have Vice President of the Board, Edgar Montes.
Well, good evening, everybody. Buenas noches to everyone. I first off would like to welcome everybody back to school. I know it's early, but by the time we have our next board meeting, we'll have already been almost 2 weeks into this new school year. So I look forward to seeing all of the, along with me and all the parents, happy, smiley faces the first day of school when we drop our kids off at school. My boys are going into 7th grade at Rialto and middle, and they're very excited. Me and my wife are very excited. They've been keeping us busy at home and at work.
And they're glad that school is starting.
I'm glad they're going to be learning. They're going to, focus back on their academics again, because they've been doing a lot of Nintendo and, a lot of other fun things too. So I can't wait for them to get back on their homework. But I just do also want to say congrats to the summer school students who will be completing summer school tomorrow. As Dr. Levine mentioned, tomorrow's the last day of summer school, so I want to congratulate them. Not everyone takes advantage of summer school. Not all of the students who should go to summer school go to summer school, but the ones who did and made the effort, I want to congratulate them. And I also want to congratulate the students who were not able to graduate with their class because they were a few credits short. And I look forward to attending the summer school graduation July 31st at Carter High School. So I will be there 6 p.m. I think we got a workshop at 4 p.m. So I'm guessing you're not going to hold the board hostage here, and we're going to be able to leave in time to make it to the graduation over there at Carter for our summer school students. I just want to wish everybody, a happy and safe summer break, what's left of it. It's very hot out here in Rialto and all of the surrounding communities. Close to 100 almost every day, if not over, just under. So please drink a lot of water. And, this year we're a little bit more prepared for our students with the heat. Last year we had to cut a few days short and and shut a few schools down because the heat took a toll, the theft of copper from our AC units and whatnot. But this year we're in a lot better shape. So I know the students are going to really enjoy that cool AC blowing through their hair while they're studying hard. Thank you very much, and I just want to congratulate everybody who was awarded an award and recognized for their leadership in the district. Keep up the good work, and all we can do, we might not always agree, but all we can do is move forward and disagree in a polite manner. As my mentor here, President Ayala, has told me, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I'm working on that. And let's keep moving forward. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Vice President Montes. Again, I'd like to start by complimenting the board members. We're settling in, and their hearts are all in the right places. We come from different backgrounds. We have different experiences. But, you know, we all have one thing in common here. We care about these kids, and that's one of our highest priorities. That's why we're all here in this room and assembled, because we care. But we also know the staff are out there, and, you know, that hurts us and pains us when sometimes we can't reach agreement. Again, I want to remind people we have to fill out these positive reports to the county. So we got to dot our I's and cross our T's and make sure everything is copacetic with the county. On another note, don't forget August 5th, kids come back to school. That was mentioned. We're running out of time. Please, please take advantage of this precious time to be with your families. Make time for them. I know in my own family, my daughter, they brought in an exchange student. And I just wanted to share kind of a humorous episode. So I'm at the park getting to meet these exchange students. They're coming from Europe. They're going to be here 4 or 5 weeks, different time parameters. And we're getting to learn who they are. And he's a young boy, 15 years old. And we had a chest there. And I said, your preferential drink? And because he spoke German, he was broken English. He says, Coors. I go, Coors? How old are you? 15. At 15, and you want Coors? They drink beer in Germany.
That's true.
And so different culture. And they saw the carpets in our houses like, you guys are into carpet because they don't use carpets over there. They, you know, the hardwood floors, they just throw rugs. It's easier to keep clean. But what he saw that we do a lot different here, we hug. He says, you guys hug a lot. I says, you bet. And I hope if you forget everything else, never forget. That's a good thing. So I'll leave you with that message. We hug a lot. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Vice President Montes, motions to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Board Member Nancy O'Kelly, got a second. Voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned at 7:47.